So today is day 135 of 2026. I know it's been a long time since I've spoken in the camera now. I think it's been maybe a month or so. Well, the goal of today's video is to basically discuss about the recent acceptance of my conference paper, which I got on 13th May. I basically want to discuss that even after having my first paper that got accepted, after having three rejections with my first paper, like this was the second paper that I wrote, and my first paper actually got rejected three times, and having this paper get selected the first attempt was something I was really happy about because it took effort. It was not a one day thing, maybe it was not a 1 week thing. I constantly tried to see where the paper was falling weak, and I tried to perform more experiment, like more training of the model, basically to see what improvements I could make, and I included that in the paper, and the paper became quite strong actually. And it was not just only my effort; it was also effort of my teammate. And to be honest, this paper was just a part of the entire project. It's not the entire project actually. And if I go to see clearly, I can write around 2 to 3 papers entirely about the project. The one paper was on retinal segmentation, which I wrote about. The second paper is going to be about efficient net. A third paper on combination. Maybe you can write more papers, but I would try to keep it condensed, like try to make it in a maximum of 3 papers. But the most important papers are these conceptual plus implementation papers, where various strategies, where various approaches were taken to basically see if any improvements could be done. And this is something that most papers usually lack, and we did that. And those very papers is something that I was really trying to work on, the main 2 papers. But I don't understand like what's the point of it, like it's been made mandatory to write a research paper. Okay, it's mandatory. We wrote a paper. Why is there a need to basically put it for a conference when the institute itself is not ready to fund us, even partially? And it is nowhere mandatory according to our own curriculum that you have to publish a research paper. I have spoken to people from other colleges, basically based in Goa, who are the same level as us, who also have done research paper and have tried novel approaches, and they also have not been told to put up for paid conferences. Instead, they are trying for open source journals where they don't like which are peer reviewed, but they are open source and they don't have to pay. So, why is our institute mandating students to put up for conferences, which are basically paid? If the institute itself is not ready to fund us, when the cost itself sometimes can go up, because to be honest, I have seen that the institute itself is not ready to fund us in the first place, but will be the first people to come and take credits. They'll call you for a photo, they'll put up in a magazine, they'll put it up on the bulletin boards, and to be honest, they don't deserve it. There are other things that are funded by the college which I would rather not speak about. But my major goal is here that the college should allocate some amount of funds for funding either for research or for attending conferences. If you really want students to go into research or attend conferences, have publications, if you are not ready to even help us in partially, I think you all don't deserve the credit that you all are taking for free. At least I have a huge problem with that. So in my case, basically I knew beforehand that the cost is going to come to 21K prior to the submission of the paper for the conference. And to be honest, I did not want to submit the paper because I knew it was going to be costly if it got accepted. There were two options: either it gets selected or either it doesn't get selected. Now you cannot always assume that a paper is going to get rejected. There is some amount of chance that a paper can get accepted. What will you do in that case? So I only registered for the conference because our mentor told us to register and he wanted us to register. So yes. But I am really hoping that you made us register, but there was some amount of proportion that it could have got selected. So what will you do in that scenario? And it's not that I told on spot. It was told prior that the cost was coming that much. That it was going to be that much. So yesterday basically I went to college. I told them that my paper got accepted. First, I told my mentor it is too much. He also agreed it is too much. It is actually quite too much for five people if you even if you go divided, and plus we are students, so it is actually quite a lot. Then after some time, basically, I got the response that I could try for other conferences and which basically means I have to skip this one. See, after having three rejections and first acceptance, you need to understand that I was the only one working on the paper. So I know how much effort went from that paper, and it is not a small thing. Okay, it was not the first acceptance. It was not the acceptance that I got at first. First time I got accepted. There are three rejections that I have faced before. So it was a big thing for me at least, and because of that, I went to the HOD. I if the college is not able to help me, I was trying to seek other mediums to basically fund it. But even after that, they are telling me do this thing, do that procedure. You know how long it is going to take. And I don't have that much time, and frustration was so much that I couldn't bear it anymore. I was so tired out of it. So the next time you all make someone register for a conference, you all have to think 10 times. Are we going to fund it? Are the students going to be able to afford it? Just don't make them register for any conference. Maybe, okay, acceptance I got, and you're making me skip this conference, okay? I don't know how y'all feel that I can just let it go. Okay? It's a big thing for me. There are expectations tied to it, and it doesn't feel good, and I don't feel good about it. And leaving something like this, midway, is I don't understand. I feel worthless, working so hard for it. There are institution innovation cells, the IPR cells, which basically do all kind of stupid nonsense kinds of events. If you really care about student innovation, kind of research, you all should have funding when actual things get selected. If you all cannot fund it, please shut down all the cells. I actually was supposed to go to the principal because I was told at least I could try with the principal, but I have no hopes. See, my only expectation was paper got selected, I will go to the mentor. Okay, mentor is happy, paper got selected. Go to the HOD, discuss, find a way to basically fund us. If she cannot fund us, if the HOD cannot fund us, you all as a paper is a department, it mentions the department name, you all know that, right? Since it's related to a department, you all can yourself go and see that we'll find a way. Instead it's you'll see what you can do basically, or just leave it. It's not a small thing. This is the same feeling that I'm getting like the Super 30 movie, like basically where he got selected for Cambridge and he couldn't afford it, and he was roaming with his father for funding, and basically his father died in an attack. Like that's what it is like looking right now. I have no hopes right now, and I'm not going to write more papers till this first paper gets selected for another conference. And Springer was actually a good conference for my paper because this is a conceptual, research based plus implementation paper, which basically is very interdisciplinary concept and is not. It might not have a place in IEEE according to me, but still I will put for it. Yeah. With that I end day 135 for 2026.